In the tough world of gold mining, where fortunes can vanish in an instant, one man stands out. Rick Ness is aiming for a record-breaking season, set to earn him $4 million. Despite facing personal challenges, Rick's determination has brought him to the brink of this historic achievement. Who is Rick Ness, and how did he get here? Join us as we explore Rick's journey from his start in Gold Rush to his quest for a $4 million season. The journey to $4 million. Following a break from the world of gold mining and recuperation, Rick Ness has now triumphantly returned in Season 14. He took an audacious step by selling his mother's home to get money for his mining endeavor. With little money at first, Ness put together a haphazard organization out of used gear and an unwavering will to return to the game. Throughout the current season, Ness's persistence and the drama surrounding his search for gold attracted viewers. He has already mined an incredible 46,121 ounces halfway through Season 14, suggesting that he may surpass the desired 1,000 to 2,000 ounce barrier by the end of the season. The transformation of Rick Ness from an inexperienced miner to a seasoned mining manager is quite amazing. It is a credit to his commitment and diligence that he reached the noteworthy milestone of 115 ounces in his first single season. While Season 10's break-even point may not have been the enormous profit he had hoped for, it did demonstrate his tenacity in the face of difficulties. Ness and his group found $2 million in gold in Season 11, demonstrating their capacity to rise above the ashes. After experiencing the highs and lows of leading a mining team, Ness gained valuable experience and eventually achieved an astounding weight of 1080 ounces. The pinnacle of Ness's career came in Season 12 when he set an audacious goal of 2,000 ounces. By using heavy-duty equipment and overcoming crew difficulties, he not only met but exceeded his objective. He extracted an incredible 2,047 ounces. This accomplishment solidified Rick Ness's position as a major player in the gold mining sector. Season 13's break, owing to personal matters, revealed Rick Ness's humanity. But his impressive comeback in Season 14, which included selling his mother's home to finance his endeavor, shows how committed he is to finding gold. With a remarkable 461.21 ounces mined in the first half of Season 14, Ness looks to be well on his way to once again exceeding his expectations. Rick Ness's story exemplifies the tenacity, willpower, and never-ending learning that characterize a real gold miner. His accomplishments not only demonstrate his expertise in the industry, but also encourage others to keep going in the face of difficulty. Even now, as he continues to overcome the difficulties posed by the Klondike, Rick Ness's story is still a powerful example of achievement attained via perseverance and determination. To all committed Gold Rush watchers, following Rick Ness's journey has been motivating. An enduring impression has been made by his fortitude in the face of difficulty and his resolve to forge his way in the uncertain world of gold mining. It's impressive to see how determined Rick Ness was to get from being a novice miner, learning the ropes under Parker Schnabel's guidance, to becoming a mine boss managing his crew. His capacity for learning and adapting, which is demonstrated by the development of each season, is what most sticks out. Season 10's disappointments, Season 11's victorious triumph, and Season 12's bold objective all demonstrate a man who not only welcomes difficulties, but also overcomes them. Ness's choice to step down in Season 13 due to personal problems humanizes his journey and serves as a reminder that even the strongest people have difficulties. His audacious comeback in Season 14, which was accompanied by a major self-imposed sacrifice, highlights his love of gold mining and his will to regain his former fame. It seems like you're supporting an old friend when you watch Rick Ness work his way to a record-breaking $2 million season in Season 14, and it's evidence of his unwavering will to succeed. Rick Ness has not always had such a smooth ride on the roller coaster that is Gold Rush. His current success is a testament to who he is. Let's find out who exactly Rick Ness is and what makes him tick. the man behind the $4 million gold find. Rick Ness is a 42-year-old gold miner who is a reality TV star on the Discovery show, Gold Rush, which tracks the placer gold mining operations of various family-run mining companies, mostly in the Klondike region of Dawson City, Yukon, Canada, as well as in the U.S. state of Alaska. Rick Ness is an American who was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on March 5, 1981. His is of white ethnicity. Ness was always interested in athletics as a child and participated heavily in school activities. Ness played college football and was a standout player for his squad. He was a passionate football fan. Nevertheless, he gave up on football after sustaining a major injury. Music was his next choice. The former football player's journey into music began with attending shows by several bands before he made his decision. Upon realizing his position, he began studying the double bass and quickly joined the .357 string band as a bass musician. The band played a lot of shows and put out albums like Dead City, Northern Lightning, and Fire and Hail while they were with the .357 string band. It was on one of the tours that Rick Ness met fellow Gold Rush star Parker Schnabel. Specifically, the two got to know one another when the band was doing a Southeast Alaska State Fair tour. Ness's meeting with Schnabel, whose grandfather established the Big Nugget Mine, led to his casting in the third season of the reality show. After telling Parker that he was interested in Gold Rush activities, he received an invitation to join after a few months. Whereas Ness gained his skills through his engagement in heavy machinery production in his family's commercial construction firm, Schnabel was an alumnus of the company trying to uphold his family's mining tradition. In 2010, the third season of Gold Rush debuted, starring Rick Ness as Parker's right-hand man. Because of his vast experience operating heavy machinery and equipment, he was able to contribute significantly to Parker's team. Ness's presence at the Indian River during the crew's second operation made it possible for Parker and his group to obtain almost 4,000 ounces of gold. The team's output increased significantly because he had provided more than 1,200 ounces. As for Rick Ness's net worth, everyone is aware of how profitable the gold mining industry is, as well as how the Gold Rush show's popularity has increased dramatically due to its enormous viewership. Among its beneficiaries is Rick Ness, who has achieved great success with his work on the show. His net worth has been estimated to be around $3 million by some sources and roughly $600,000 by others. However, the miner's profitable adventures with different crews throughout the series would provide a reasonable explanation to support these estimates. In addition to his accomplishments with Parker's crew, he also had significant success working with Todd Hoffman's gold mining crew. For a man of Rick Ness's caliber, his yearly salary of $120,000 to $200,000 is very reasonable. He lives a comfortable life and owns a house, expensive cars, and a good lifestyle. Like everyone else in the world, Rick Ness is not an island and has a family whom he loves very much. The team behind the success. Lise Marie is the name of Rick's girlfriend. That being said, Rick and Marie have had a tumultuous relationship for a long time. She has occasionally stated that he routinely cheats on her. Following their breakup, she experienced some hostility from Ness's followers on social media until Ness intervened and stood up for her. Still, the pair are engaged and live together with Ness's dog, Ruby. Lise Marie was born and brought up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Before going back to the U.S., she resided for a spell in the Klondike region of Yukon, Canada. For a brief period, she and Rick shared a home in Arizona. At the moment, they reside in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the miner's house. Rick Ness's girlfriend has a son, however, she rarely posts about him on social media. Being the girlfriend of Rick Ness, Lise became well known to many of Gold Rush's biggest fans. Lise even began making TikTok material about her relationship with Rick when they went public with it. However, Lise kept her TikTok page private after a turbulent phase in their relationship, and she now uses the platform rarely. Despite this, she still has more than 800 followers on the social media platform. Rick Ness's girlfriend also briefly dabbled in reality TV. She appeared in a brief role in her boyfriend's show, Gold Rush, in January 2022. When Rick was having a problem with his driver, Riley, Marie offered to help by operating a rock truck. However, since that episode, she hasn't been in any other episodes and hasn't yet established a career in reality TV. Rick's mother, Judy Marie Bedard, and father, Richard Ness, welcomed him into the world in a hospital in Milwaukee. Sadly, in 2018, Rick's mother passed away. Judy's family was devastated when she passed away that year after a protracted fight with cancer. This happened years after her divorce from Rick's dad, Richard. Interestingly, not a lot of people are aware of the fact that Rick Ness of Gold Rush is a twin. Randy Ness is the twin brother of Rick. The Ness twins grew up together and were employed by their grandfather, Roy Ness's construction company, Roy Ness Contracting and Sales, Inc., in Escanaba, Michigan. Randy is married to Jen Ness and works for the company as a mechanic. Rick Ness has been a part of the show since almost the start of Discovery's Gold Rush in 2010. Due to Gold Rush's sustained popularity, a sizable number of spin-offs have been produced, including The Dirt, Gold Rush, The Jungle, Gold Rush, South America, Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, Gold Rush Whitewater, Gold Rush, David Turin's Lost Mine, Gold Rush, Freddie Dodge's Mine Rescue, and Hoffman Family Gold. Before we go into Rick Ness's journey in the Gold Rush, let's take a look at what the reality show is about. How Gold Rush began. One of Discovery Channel's most popular series, Gold Rush, formerly known as Gold Rush Alaska, follows mining firms as they try to find gold in the backcountry. The reality show has been immersing viewers in the lives of miners and their quest for financial success for more than 10 years, captivating them with its straightforward yet captivating premise. The show, which started as a story about 6 guys who were going to search for gold in Porcupine Creek, Alaska, all of whom lost their jobs as a result of the economic downturn, has since expanded to include more stories set in various gold-rich regions. The show has developed into much more than just a reality series based on mining from seasons 1 to 14. Debuting in 2010, the Gold Rush arguably withstood the test of time by staying true to its mining origins while addressing several timely subjects. Viewership has continued to be strong for Gold Rush, but the cast's experience hasn't always been the same. According to Forbes, Gold Rush has an average of 1.93 million weekly viewers. If there's one thing the show has taught us, it's that not everyone can succeed through hard work, and that for the most part, luck decides how each adventure turns out. In addition to other challenges, nature and the unpredictable weather occasionally play the villain role, leaving viewers eagerly awaiting the resolution. Rick Ness has truly experienced the ups and downs of the mining business. Let's look at his journey as a gold mining boss. Season 9, Ness leaves the nest. Season 9 of Gold Rush started Rick Ness's journey as a mine boss. Rick Ness, 42, took command of a team, leaving his former mining boss Parker Schnabel, 29. Notwithstanding the obstacles in his path, Ness demonstrated his might by successfully extracting an impressive 1,105 ounces of gold during his first single season. The 9th season of the show premiered in 2019, and Ness's former boss was not happy about his departure. Schnabel discussed the special challenges the season presented, starting with Ness's departure, saying, "We had a foreman, Rick Ness, quit and went out on his mining. Overcoming that for our business was difficult, and we had to deal with the fallout of that, and I had to figure it all out. It created a bit of a power vacuum that caused some issues, as you guys will see on the show." Starting the season, Rick Ness set a bold target of 1,000 ounces of gold, over $1.2 million. This was coming after the death of Ness's beloved mother from cancer at the age of 55. For a rookie boss who was going through a personal loss, this target was certainly brave and showed the kind of leader Ness wanted to be, one that had big dreams and backed them up with determination and hard work, despite tough, seemingly insurmountable challenges. Indeed, despite the many challenges, including machines malfunctioning and his last weigh-in scare, where the team thought they were going to be 27 ounces short of the 1,000-ounce target, Team Ness was able to pull through, overshooting their target by another 105 ounces. This earned them a cool $1.3 million and certainly boosted their confidence in the new crew and Ness's leadership. Ness's former boss, Parker, and his crew had a far better performance. At Scribner Creek, the crew extracted 7,427.25 ounces, valued at about $9 million, surpassing Parker's 7,000 goal. Tony Beats, Parker's nemesis, mined little under 4,400 ounces, falling short of his objective of 6,000 ounces. With that successful debut, all was set for Ness's second season as a boss, and many were eager to see how well he would perform. Season 10, a disappointment, second time around. In Season 10 of Gold Rush, Rick Ness overcame the highs and lows of the gold mining roller coaster and broke even with a respectable haul of 547 ounces, a tribute to his tenacity and resolve. It began airing in October 2019, and the last episode aired in March 2020. Rick is forced by a crisis in the Klondike to take enormous risks in an attempt to strike it rich and explore new territory for gold. The setback coincides with a jump in gold prices, which prompts another gold rush to the region. He decides to relocate operations to the hills above Keno City, to Duncan Creek. When Rick and his father go aerial prospecting, they eventually come onto an ancient cabin that might be useful for finding gold. To deal with outdated equipment, Rick decided to make significant improvements to his operations. Rick purchases a monstrous wash plant in pursuit of large nuggets. Rick has to make the difficult choice between building his new wash plant and mining gold. He had paid $500,000 for his wash plant Monster Red, but he could not find pockets of gold to feed it because he was dealing with permafrost. After losing his only means of extracting gold, Rick rushes to get Monster Red operating again. Rick eventually enlists the assistance of a legendary miner to save his season. After shutting down his business, Rick brings in a hidden weapon in his pursuit of nuggets and is given a lifeline that will define the remainder of his mining season. Rick nearly breaks even in the end, weighing in at 547 ounces total. In comparison, Parker Schnabel, Rick's old boss, completed the season 204 ounces short of his previous record year, but because he mainly mined his ground and paid significantly less in royalties, the 7,223 ounces he mined netted him almost $1 million more than in Season 9. Due to the increase in gold prices, Parker's gold haul had a $10.8 million valuation. The disappointing outing that season did not discourage Ness and his crew as they were determined to make it big the next season around. Third time's the charm. Rick Ness found his footing in Season 11, overcoming obstacles to clear an incredible $2 million in gold mining, a whopping 1,080 ounces. For Ness, who realized there was a high learning curve involved in being a mining boss, the season was a turning point. All in all, this was a challenging year for the show. The COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on both the mining season of 2020 and the filming of Season 11. Although the Yukon government regarded miners as critical workers, they did not think the film crews were. At the beginning of the filming season, Canada, the location of the show, was under travel lockdown, which meant that the production crew from Raw TV production company was still stranded in Britain. Ness was still willing to stake everything on nothing more than a gut feeling. He claimed that despite the difficulties of starting later than expected because of COVID-19, his team was successful. He said, "A worldwide epidemic to begin with, and then in a season that short, it was one of those things you just never thought could happen. Shockingly, anything can cause you to essentially skip a fifth of our season. It's simply not real." Rick Ness and his team successfully extracted $2 million in gold, a hard-won comeback from the disappointments that marred his prior Klondike season. Despite all that had been thrown at him, he considered it as just another year up there. He no longer had my faith in me or my judgment, but in the end, it was all worthwhile. Excelling despite the pandemic made Rick Ness, his crew, and everyone watching excitedly for the next season. Bolder and braver than ever, Rick Ness, unfazed by past setbacks, set an audacious aim of 2,000 ounces in Season 12, a goal that appeared unachievable at the start of the season when he lacked a full staff. Ness was unfazed and increased his business using enormous $500,000 equipment. Against all odds, he succeeded in mining an amazing 2,047 ounces. With the price of gold still hovering around record highs, every miner was competing to locate and mine the best terrain. However, since the majority of the productive land had been claimed, they had to go deeper and venture further into the wilderness to find the mother lode. Rick Ness got the season underway early and with a scorching payload. He began the season without a crew, but his objective was to mine 2,000 ounces of gold, the most he had ever done. Due to the absence of two of his most important crew members, he had to increase the efficiency of his operation to compensate for the manpower shortfall. Rick unveiled a giant new excavator and a $500,000 dozer, two of the biggest ones you could buy. Rick's season appeared to be in the hands of a green mechanic at first. In a hurry, Rick's group saved a greenhorn and her rock truck. Brennan was tasked by Rick with breaking new ground. While searching for fresh territory, Brennan submerged Rick's enormous 475 bulldozer. Rocky, Rick's wash plant, crumbled before his very eyes. He asked Juan and Freddie to assist in keeping Rocky alive. To even the score, he went back to the deep cut. Rick turned to pursue a pay dirt seam rich in gold that had sent other Keno miners into bankruptcy. He sets off on a dangerous quest to save Monster Red. Rick challenges Brennan to become the Rally Valley's night foreman. To contend with the rough and steadily rising Rally Valley wages, Rick gives the Monster Red a big upgrade. When enormous boulders pose a huge danger that could mean the end of Monster Red, Rick is compelled to scale back his operations. To reach the Rally Valley pay layer, Rick mobilizes his hidden weapon. Rick speeds up his plans as he at last hits the high pay level in Rally Valley. At the tail end of the season, even though Rick Ness had finally discovered Keno's large gold and made a $4 million deposit to purchase his claims altogether, he still needed 550 ounces to reach his 2,000-ounce target. This was his third season away from the Klondike, and he was determined to make it count. At some point, Rick and his crew are 170 feet below the surface in the Rally Valley after 10 weeks of digging. The high-grade pay Rick needed to salvage his season at Rally Valley was still 6 feet below the surface. The 6,000 gallons of groundwater seeping into the cut every minute was too much for Rick's 6-inch pump to handle. The only thing left to do was to use a gigantic 465 horsepower dozer engine to pump up the hoses. This 10-in pump could empty an Olympic-sized swimming pool in about 70 minutes. Rick lost 2 days fighting a flooded cut and the prospect of the big freeze that would have stopped him altogether. He needed Rally Valley to deliver. Rick needed a whopping 550 ounces to reach his season goal of 2,000 ounces. Rick still had a chance to win if he could only keep Monster Red moving, even if he was 300 ounces short of his season objective. It's the last few days of the season, and Rick's scorching honey fills. In an attempt to have a season that breaks records, Rick dials up the power of Monster Red. Rick proves that he is indeed one of the best miners when he succeeded in mining an outstanding 2,047 ounces. With such a fantastic season, everyone expected Rick to be all too eager to take on the challenges of the next season. But life had other plans for him. Rick takes a break. In Season 13, the story took a surprising turn when Rick Ness decided to leave the show due to personal struggles and seasonal depression, leaving viewers to speculate about what would become of him in the Gold Rush wilderness. Ness took the crucial decision in 2022 to prioritize his mental health, even if it meant resigning from his position in the gold rush. Citing the loss of his mother from cancer at the rather early age of 55, Ness said that he struggled with finding his footing months and even years after her demise. She had died just before Season 9 when Ness decided to go out on his own. The experienced gold miner went into an emotional spiral that triggered a depression that he had to deal with early in the 13th season of the reality show. Rather than burying his sorrows in work, he needed to take that step back to recover and address the things that had been weighing him down in a healthy way. Days before Gold Rush's newest season premiered, Ness talked about his experience with mental health, saying, "I was having some mental health issues. There were a lot of things going on. I'm a gold miner with the stigma there. I don't ask for help, you know what I mean? I've always been that way. And it's just some things were going on in my head, and I didn't know what it was because I didn't know anything about depression and things of that nature. And so I just thought I'd deal with it myself and try and figure it out, which is tough when you don't know what you're dealing with." To spend lots of time alone and process his mother's passing, Ness decided to take a year off from work, disappearing from Gold Rush's 13th season. In a highly competitive industry such as gold mining, however, taking a break like that means a lot of things. It can cause one to fall behind and possibly send millions of hard-earned dollars to rivals. However, the popular reality show star believed that slowing down was his only option. He emphasized that he thought he was headed in the wrong direction and even mentioned the pressure of the company as a factor. To be able to work in gold mining, one had to take a step back. He eventually became appreciative of his life and the opportunity to pursue his passions. If you have enjoyed the incredible story of gold mining boss Rick Ness, smash the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.